free of cost this year across 10 centers, with 70% from Sindh. With US support, SIUT has significantly expanded. The Mehra complex undertakes 62,281 dialysis sessions and 4,586 surgeries. There's the Kathor Primary Health Center, the satellite dialysis units in Garden, Nazmabad and Shah Faisal, SIUT Sakhar, SIUT Larkano, and support to Nawab Shah and Shikarpur, Benazir Institute of Urology and Transplant and 10-bed unit benefiting 2,389 patients. In collaboration with Indus Hospital and Health Network, we remain committed to universal healthcare access. With US support, Indus Hospital has been able to become one of Pakistan's largest children cancer center with 2,500 children treated annually. Indus now provides hundreds of cochlear implants, giving hearing impaired children a new life, leadership in prosthetics and knee replacement, emergency service treating thousands of trauma infections and accident patients daily, integrated maternal neonatal care reaching the most vulnerable women and newborn. Sir, the government of Sindh is reshaping the landscape of health in Pakistan. Sindh is not just meeting expectation, it is leading the way. Mr. Speaker, now I come to law and order. This year, the allocation for law and order has been increased from 125 billion to 163 billion. An unprecedented commitment that enabled workforce expansion, technology adoption, operational capabilities, and on-ground presence. Street crime, once synonymous, Karachi once synonymous with street crime, has witnessed measurable improvements. Vehicular snatching, theft is down from 256 to 176 cases daily. Violent robberies in a city of more than 20 million people is reduced to just less than one incident per day. Detection rate for street crime has rose to 81%. In Kacha area, 31 hardened criminals were neutralized in this current financial year. 400 dacoits were arrested. 775 honey trap abduction cases prevented, and kidnapping cases reduced from 35 to just 7. Our war against narcotics has yielded significant results in 24-25, with 18,000 plus drug-related cases registered, 21,700 people arrested, 83 FIRs lodged for drug peddling on campuses, 33 online drug dealers are arrested. We are not only arresting criminals, we are defending the future of our youth. In the counter-terrorism sector, we have made 42 strategic arrests and operational the CTD Fusion Center. The Sindh Smart Surveillance System S4 now operates on 42 toll plazas with artificial intelligence-powered cameras. Highway Patrol project covers 40 beats, soon scaling to 2,153 kilometers with 1,900 officers and 92 patrol vehicles. For traffic reforms, we are introducing faceless e-ticketing with 550 cameras, and this will reach to 1,300 cameras by December 2025. GPS tracking cameras, enforcement and mandatory driver education, 100,000 plus e-driving licenses issued in 3 months. Demerit point system introduced for repeat offenders. These are the steps that we have taken to modernize traffic reforms. To strengthen justice delivery, 50 crime units have been deployed, 215 plus investigative officers trained in modern forensics, police station record management system now linked to courts and labs. Experience in investigation is now a criteria for promotion. Strengthening the police recruitment and welfare. So we've done more than 25,000 recruitments, 8,000 officers have been promoted this year. Health insurance scheme for 15,000 plus staff and rupees 4.96 billion support has been provided. Shaheed package now ranges from rupees 23.5 billion to rupees 70 million. Rupees 1 billion already disbursed as compensation. Police station empowerment infrastructure, 31 police stations launched 8.7 billion devolved directly to police stations. SHOs and sub-investigation officers designated as drawing and disbursement officers for localized decision making. We are witnessing today, what we are witnessing today is not just police reforms, it is a fundamental transformation. Our streets will inshallah be safer, our forces more capable, and our communities more secure. So on the IT side, we initiated the People's Information Technology Program, and I'm glad to inform you that 14,565 students with market-ready digital skills have been trained in IT. This has been done in the three institutions, the ND University, Mehran University, and Sakhar IBA. More than 40% were females in Sakhar and 62% in MUET, Mehran University, were from had rural participation. In phase 2, in the next financial year, we plan to train 35,000 students. So the major financial commitment for education in the current financial year was rupees 7.5 billion for free textbooks. We have kept rupees 5 billion for the next financial year. Rupees 15.6 billion spent by a Sindh Education Foundation, enhanced to rupees 19.1 billion in the next year. Rupees 800 million for girls' school stipends, 2 billion for school furniture, 1.2 billion for school management committees, 4.2 billion for Aspire program. Next year it is going to be 5.5 billion. 34.6 billion spent on higher education. Next year we will increase it to 42 billion rupees. Rupees 26.3 billion for educational development projects. 8.7 billion for early learning and rupees 5 billion for secondary school rehab. So the notable achievements are early childhood care and education policy with UNICEF support, introduction of student attendance monitoring system, adopt a school program where 202 schools are opened by 94 parliamentarians, 1,302 new school buildings completed, 5,243 schools under restoration post-flood via World Bank ADP. So we have also completed the first census of private school, enforcing 10% free ship policy, benefiting over 16,350 students. These interventions underscore our commitment to inclusive and equitable education under SDG 4. Sir, I'll move on to key achievements in water conservation. In our drive for water efficiency, 24 lining schemes covering 299 miles were completed, conserving 478 cusecs of water, enough to irrigate an additional 250,000 acres. A further 36 schemes of 506 miles are underway, valued at rupees 36 billion. Sir, we are looking to climate resilience and emergency response. The province has witnessed 6 major floods in the past 12 years, including the devastating floods of 2010 and 2022. To enhance resilience, Sindh launched the Sindh World Bank supported program, Flood Emergency Rehabilitation Program, with a total cost of rupees 61.57 billion. Key actions include 26 new ADP schemes with an estimated cost 34.92 billion, updated regional flood risk plans for left and right banks of river. Our government is currently executing multiple strategic projects with international partnership and domestic financing, including the Sindh Barrages Improvement Project, the Sindh Resilience Project, the Sindh Water and Agriculture Transformation Project, the Makhi Parash Link Canal Project, Shahid Benazir Bhutto Sweet Water Project, Solar Tube Well Installation Project, linking of Kalri Bagar Feeder Upper and Pinjar Lake. So in the Works and Services Department, our performance is that we took a massive portfolio of 800 schemes under the annual development plan with a total allocation of rupees 55.19 billion, of which to date rupees 48.5 billion has been successfully utilized. collaboration with Federal PSDP, we are doing 5 major roads, which include the coastal highway, the Rodi to Guddu Barrage, 150-kilometer improvement of roads, dualization of Kandolaya to Tanda Mohat Khan Road, construction of additional carriageway around Mehran Highway from Nawab Shah to Ranipur, improvement of road from Sangha to National Highway, which is a 221-kilometer road. So the ADB funded flood emergency assistance program, we are rehabilitating 45 roads totaling 773.71 kilometers. So these strategic investments in connectivity, economic corridors and climate resilient roads will not only enhance mobility but will also foster equitable development across rural and urban Sindh. Sir, now I go to green mobility, dignity and green innovations in the province of Sindh. The People's Bus Service is now recognized as a flagship urban transportive initiative in Pakistan, and it continues to expand its footprint across Sindh. During financial year 24-25, we achieved the following. Geographic expansion, PBS routes have been successfully expanded to Mirpur Khas and Shaheed Benazirabad, while additional coverage was added to existing corridors in Karachi and Ladkano. Asia's first ever women-only pink bus service is working in Pakistan, in the province of Sindh, operating 28 plus buses across 5 dedicated routes. We have improved feeder network. 20 additional buses were introduced across various feeder routes to improve last mile connectivity. In digital transformation, an automated fare collection system has been implemented, enhancing transparency and commuter convenience. Ridership has increased to over 41 million passengers this year, averaging 120,000 daily riders, a testament to its reliability and growing public trust. The government is supporting it through fare subsidy of rupees 1.5 billion, fuel adjustment support of rupees 1.2 billion. Total per rider subsidy stands at rupees 67, making urban transport truly accessible for all. So another initiative that we took was about the EV buses. This was a green leap forward. This year we achieved historic milestones in our EV bus service initiative. Karachi routes were expanded. We launched 3 new EV routes, bringing Pakistan's first fleet of 50 electric buses into successful operation. Scaling up through innovation, 100 new 12-meter EV buses are approved under rent-to-own model to be launched by July 2025. 34 compact 9-meter EV buses are also arriving soon and will begin operation in July 25. 5 double-decker electric buses will be operational by July 25, enhancing high-capacity commuting in major corridors. So we are actively working with private sector partners to roll out a fleet of up to 1,000 electric buses for urban mobility across Sindh. The People's Bus Service and our EV Transit initiative are not merely transport projects. They are social equalizers, economic enablers, and climate-smart investments. They reflect our resolve to provide safe, affordable, and environmentally sustainable mobility for every citizen of Sindh. So I will move on to promotion of sports and cultural activities. Culture and sports not only brings joy, but also fosters national unity and pride. This year we allocated rupees 4.7 billion to preserve our cultural heritage, promote literature and arts, and organize major sporting events. Highlights include the third Jeep Rally, hosting of squash and boxing championships in Karachi, special recognition for Olympic gold medalist Akshat Nadeem and World Boxing Association champion Shahir Afridi. In cultural diplomacy, World Culture Festival Karachi 2024 was a monumental success, bringing together 450 artists from 44 countries and attracting over 180 million global viewers. The upcoming 2025 edition will host performers from over 100 nations, strengthening Pakistan's global cultural footprint. Programs like Almi Urdu Conference, Pakistan Literature Festival, and Arts Council initiatives are giving rise to cultural renaissance in Sindh. For the next year, we plan to hold the National Games in December 2025, and inshallah, this will be an event which will be a truly successful event which we are planning for December 2025. So for empowering persons with disabilities, we want an inclusive Sindh in action. The government of Sindh strongly believes in empowering persons with disabilities by ensuring their full inclusion in the fabric of our society. This year, an impressive rupees 4.8 billion has been spent on programs dedicated to welfare and rehabilitation. To overcome mobility barriers faced by children with disabilities, the government has facilitated procurement of specially designed vehicles for pick and drop services, enabling secure access to additional and rehabilitation centers across the province. This initiative reaffirms our inclusive and child-centered approach. We are expanding our Center of Autism Rehabilitation Centers. Following the success of our first C-Art Center, we have significantly expanded. We now have 3 new C-Art centers in Karachi, a center in Hyderabad, one in Gambat, one in Nawab Shah, one in Sakkar, and the one in Larkana is near completion. In the next 3 months, inshallah, 2 new C-Arts will become operative in Tando Muhammad Khan and Karachi Central. Plans are underway to establish C-Arts in every district of Sindh, ensuring accessibility across all regions. New special education centers have been set up in Kiamadi, Daud, Moro, Noshero Feroz, Ratto Dero, Larkana, Hatto, Mathli, Tambar and Shikarpur. Rehabilitation has also been carried out for our centers in Sakkar, Korangi, Karachi, complexes in Gulistani Johor and Mirpur Mathelo, and inclusive parks have been built in Malir, Landi and North Karachi. By the close of the current financial year, 2 new schemes will be completed. An inclusive park in Clifton Block 5 and rehabilitation of PD and ID Center in Larkana. The Sindh Institute of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation is recognized. SMPR has now been transferred from health to the DEPD department. This enables more dedicated service delivery for persons with disabilities. We have major expansions underway in our IPMNR Nawab Shah, the one in Larkana and the one in Karachi. These units will start operating in July 2025. For the grant and aid program, the government allocated rupees 2.9 billion supporting over 10,500 children with disabilities by partner NGOs. Key achievements include rupees 986 million establishing 20 new centers and expanding 15 existing ones. Rupees 400 million for assistive devices benefiting children with mobility or learning challenges. Rupees 1.5 billion provided to NGOs and government institutions through the regular budget. So we have also formed a Directorate of Inclusive Education. We have a fleet of 23 vehicles for accessibility which have been procured. Our inclusive parks and infrastructure with an allocation of 80 billion. We are constructing parks for special people in Clifton, Saudabad, Landi and North Karachi. This inclusive roadmap reflects the government of Sindh's unwavering resolve to build a barrier-free opportunity-rich society for all through infrastructural expansion, inclusive education, targeted mobility solutions and support to non-governmental organizations. We are not just creating facilities, we are restoring dignity, hope and potential for every child and individual with disability in Sindh. Sir, our project of Sindh people housing of not affectees is now a world-recognized project through the efforts of our leadership, especially Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, who of Shahid Zulfikar Ali Bhutto of Roti Kapda of Makan, we have under construction more than 850,000 houses affected during the flood. Almost 500,000 are under completion. Rupees 128 billion was spent in the current financial year. More than 1.3 million bank accounts have been opened for direct disbursement. The entire world is talking about the success of this project, and we've got requests from other provinces to replicate these projects in their provinces. And Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari has directed us that the Sindh People's Housing for Flood Affectees will implement this scheme in the province of Balochistan and in the province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa for flood affectees. Sir, I'll briefly talk about the public-private partnership initiative. Sir, our PPP portfolio is now valued at an impressive rupees 625 billion. It is a testament to the vision of our leadership. A remarkable rise from just rupees 6 billion in 2010. This diverse portfolio spans education, healthcare, roads and bridges, water, energy, transport, IT, industrial and economic zones, agriculture and forestation. These projects are at various stages of development. Rupees 190 billion worth of projects are currently under construction. Projects worth rupees 365 billion are at investor solicitation and feasibility stage and expected to be awarded by early next year. In the current fiscal year alone, an expenditure of rupees 65 billion has been incurred on PPP projects. Our star project, the Sharai Bhutto Expressway, the first segment of Sharai Bhutto Expressway was inaugurated by Chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari in January 25 from Qaidabad to Shah Faisal. And I'm very happy to inform this House that the Karimabad to Qaidabad section is ready, and inshallah ta'ala it will be inaugurated and opened for traffic tomorrow, the 14th of June 2025. And the remaining portion up to M9 is scheduled to be completed by December 31st this year, and inshallah it is on track, and we will provide this scheme for the people of Sindh by December 2025. The M9 to N5 link road, initially only 7.2 kilometers, was in operation, and now by September 2025 this entire length will be in operation. Apart from this, in the PPP we are doing the Marble City project, the Bhoti Kanpot Bridge project, the Jaiga Rehabilitated School, the Rani Bagh Hyderabad project, carbon emission through forestation, the NED Technology Park. Apart from that, we are spending rupees 70 billion in Viability Gap Fund for the next year. International arbitration mechanisms have been approved for transparent dispute resolution and to align with global standards. Amendments to Sindh public procurement rules have been enacted to expedite processes and promote fairness, particularly for unsolicited proposals. Mr. Speaker, sir, our PPP framework has evolved into a powerful tool to unlock value, leverage private sector efficiency, and accelerate public service delivery. The model exemplifies the Sindh government's commitment to inclusive, sustainable, and innovation-led growth. Sir, we had started this year with an unprecedented development portfolio of 959 billion. Due to the lower collection by the federal government and other issues regarding inflation and high project increase, whereby the projects had to be revised, we have released to date, and we plan to release 666 billion rupees, and inshallah ta'ala we will touch a development spending of rupees 600 billion this year, which will be an all-time high. Sir, the current financial year to be rupees 2.9 trillion from a budget estimate of rupees 3 trillion. The current revenue expenditure is revised and is now pitched at rupees 1.86 trillion against current year's budget estimates of rupees 1.9 trillion. The current capital expenditure has been proposed to be rupees 237.9 billion, showing an increase over current year's budget of rupees 184.8 billion. The increase is due to surging rupee-dollar parity within the range of rupees 276 to rupees 282 per US dollar, raising the expenditure towards repayment of foreign loans. The estimates of investment activities have been revised to rupees 198.2 billion as compared to the budget. I have already told you about the development expenditure of 2024-25 and in the current financial year, the provincial development expenditure stands at rupees 817 billion, which includes 392 billion from provincial ADPs, rupees 55 billion from district ADPs, and rupees 296 billion for foreign project assistance. So the province's own receipts in the current financial year is largely reliant upon, so the province is largely reliant upon federal transfers. In the current financial year, the revised estimates of federal transfers have been proposed at rupees 1.79 trillion compared to a budget estimate of rupees 1.9 trillion. So 104 billion rupees have already been deducted by the federal government from our share. Therefore, the revised estimates for divisible pool stand at rupees 1.623 billion as against the budget estimate of 1.747 billion. The revised estimate for straight transfers are rupees 129 billion against a budget estimate of rupees 6 billion. So for our own resources, our three departments, the Sindh Revenue Board is going to collect more than 300 billion rupees in this year. The Excise and Taxation Department is going to collect almost 200 billion rupees cash apart from the bank guarantees that are submitted, and the Board of Revenue will collect about 30 billion rupees. So the non-tax revenues have been proposed to be at rupees 51.5 billion. So for the next financial year, the budget outlay for provincial expenditure for year 2025-26, as I said earlier, is rupees 3.45 trillion. This marks an increase of 12.9% over budget estimates of the current financial year. I will very briefly present the components of current revenue, capital and development expenditures. Budget estimates for current revenue expenditures have been fixed at rupees 2.15 trillion, which is 12.4% higher than budget estimates of 1.9 trillion for the current financial year. The increase is mainly due to inflationary impact on the operating expense, enhancement of grant and aid to non-financial institutions, including hospitals, public sector universities, local councils, necessary salary rise in shape of relief allowance to government employees, and raise in pension expenditure due to increase in pensions. Highlight of budget estimates for 2025-26. Then I'll just talk about the major departments. Education sector, we are proposing an expenditure of rupees 524 billion against last year's budget of rupees 458 billion. For primary education, the allocation is being enhanced from 136 billion to 156 billion. For middle and elementary, it increased from 36.2 to 42.7 billion. For secondary education, 68.5 billion to 77.2 billion. For college education, we are increasing by rupees 5 billion. The proposal for next year is rupees 39.53 billion. For higher education, we have kept a budget of rupees 42 billion for next financial year. So for the differently abled persons, the DPD department, we are increasing the provisions of funds from rupees 11.6 billion to rupees 17.3 billion for budget estimates of 2025-26. Then in the health sector, the budget estimates of financial year 25-26 have been proposed to be rupees 326.5 billion against rupees 302 billion, with an increase of 8% budget. This includes rupees 18.2 billion reserved for medical education next year. Sir, on the development side, we started with a portfolio of rupees 595 billion, but due to resource constraints, we have brought and rationalized the ADP down to rupees 520 billion. Therefore, only 475 new schemes have been proposed in ADP 2025-26. These are linked to high priority areas including flood rehabilitation, renewable energy, development in less 5 developed districts, uplift of divisional headquarters, clean water and sanitation. A focused increase of 20% has been proposed for social and productive sectors, while allocation for other departments has remained constant. The budget allocation for major sectors for next financial year are rupees 99.6 billion for education, rupees 45.3 billion for health, rupees 73.9 billion for irrigation, rupees 132 billion for local government, rupees 11.25 billion for energy, rupees 22.5 billion for agriculture, livestock and fishery sector. Sir, we have a number of schemes for upgradation of infrastructure in Karachi. We are upgrading the Damloti pumping station in Gadab Town, Malir at a cost of rupees 219.7 million. Comprehensive renewal through rehabilitation of sewage water, street lighting in Union Council 1 to 19 at a cost of rupees 3.5 billion. Strategic improvements in districts South, North Nazimabad and Malir, including Allama Rashid Turabi Road, Meva Shah Kabristan and 4K to Gulshan-e-Memar corridor. Road construction and water sewerage and paver works in key UCs of district Malir, Kyamadi and Korangi, cumulatively exceeding rupees 5 billion. In addition, under the Karachi Neighborhood Improvement Program and click parks such as Akbali Playground, Bharatari Park in Sadar and North Nazimabad were revitalized to offer safe green recreational spaces. So I spoke about our focus on the transport department. Sir, the Karachi Urban Mobility Project under the Yellow Line BRT work on depots and the Jam Sadiq Bridge is progressing swiftly. The bridge that we are replacing is near completion and inshallah will be inaugurated soon. The bridge that has to be rehabilitated, which is going to be demolished and a new bridge constructed there, inshallah we'll also complete that in the next 10 months. The red line BRT covering 29 kilometers is over 50% complete, with the main corridor scheduled for completion within the next 6 months. We have earmarked rupees 1.1 billion for new diesel hybrid buses and rupees 3 billion for additional EV and double-decker buses under the PBS fleet. So we are working on the Safe and Smart Karachi program. Phase 1 of the Smart City costing 6.6 billion is nearing completion. Inshallah, in the next financial year, we will launch and complete phase 2 of the project also. Major projects slated for completion in financial year 25-26 in Karachi include the Kurangi Causeway Bridge over Marir River at N5, Sharai Bhutto and Kurangi Junctions, underpass at Karimabad, Gujar Nara flyover, improvement of traffic corridors, development of old city area, improvement of business areas, restoration of heritage markets, construction of major roads and flyovers in Scheme 33 District E, Shah Faisal Colony, Gujar Nala crossing Sir Shah Suleiman Road. These interventions aim to balance heritage preservation, commercial development and connectivity across districts. Even in the public-private partnership area, the Malir Expressway, now called the phase 0 of the Malir Expressway, will connect the Sharai Bhutto to the port, is being done under the public-private partnership. The 5 million gallon per day desalination plant, TP4 sewage treatment and EV infrastructure charging will also be launched under PPP in the next financial year. So for the new initiatives of the next financial year include revolutionary governance with digital tools. We have embarked the journey to digitally modernize since
अभी सब्सक्राइब करें ताकि कोई खबर रह न जाए।